MAGA bro podcasters just took it one step too far, and their audience is unsurprisingly turning on them. I can't wait to break it all down with my good friend Cam Kasky. Cam, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. The Nelk Boys, some very, very dumb bros, dare I say maybe the dumbest of the MAGA pod bros, had Benjamin Netanyahu on their podcast to do some hasbara, to talk about why he's actually good and why everybody in the entire world who hates Netanyahu, including countless people in Israel, are actually wrong. But the Nelk Boys have now revealed what a lot of people were assuming all along, which is that not only were the questions that they gave to Netanyahu obvious softballs pre-approved, the interview was also organized by the Trump White House. This wasn't surprising to me because I assumed Netanyahu was doing bro podcasts to try and recapture Trump's success doing so on the 2024 campaign trail. But it's still so unbelievable to me that a global figure like Netanyahu, who is in the middle of an unbelievable armed massacre, the likes of which modern history has only seen very, very few times, is like broing out with the pod guys. What do you make of this?
Well, he didn't even really bro out that much. What Trump's success was during the campaign is, although he was, pretty stupid, he was affable enough. Shane Gillis, who is a MAGA seeming but actually liberal comedian, has made fun of Trump relentlessly for knowing nothing about sports. The media, who knows much less about sports, the political media at least, pretends like he does, like he's one of the guys. But no, it was just such a weird and uncomfortable podcast the whole time. For those of you who don't know the Nelk Boys, they were former YouTube pranksters back in 2018 when that was cool. Now they do, vlogs of them going to Dubai with Dana White of the UFC. And, their videos are well shot and entertaining enough if that's your thing.
And of course, they did a video with Donald Trump during the 2024 campaign.
Yeah, now they've ramped up their war criminal bona fides, and the podcast didn't really go so well.
We've actually got a clip right now of Bibi Netanyahu broing it out with the Nelk Boys. Let's take a look.
And they teach their children that the greatest duty is to murder as many Jews as they want. The so-called moderates, the other branch, not Hamas, the moderates that are described as such, they pay for slay. The more Jews you kill, the more they pay the murderers. I mean, that's a death
Which is crazy, yeah. Some of the anti-Semitism I see is pretty nuts.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I'm an American Jew, and it's hard to identify as that.
I understand.
You almost don't even want to own it.
But I think we just changed history. I see American Jews are very proud now. Jews around the world are very proud because these guys were out to murder us and do another Holocaust.
So there's your idea right there of the Nelk Boys. You get someone like Trump or someone like Netanyahu being like, the Hamas, they're going to kill you. And then you get the Nelk Boys being like, bro, that's tough, dude. Not even cool, man.
It's crazy. Probably have a Zin in.
I can't even believe those Hamas guys do that, bro. But their audience kind of started eating them alive after the interview. As a matter of fact,
can I also point out that the main guy is Canadian? He's not an American. The guy who did say that he... Kyle. Yeah, his name is Kyle. Of course, it's Kyle. It's Kyle, guys. He's Canadian, so he's not American. Let me just put that out there too.
Well, Kyle from South Park's adopted brother is Canadian, so maybe there's a connection there. The Nelk Boys got some feedback on their Murder Hasbara interview from their audience, where they ended up giving a review of the Netanyahu interview that might not have been what Netanyahu would have wanted. Let's take a look at that.
It's a good point. Someone said having Netanyahu on is like having modern day Hitler.
No, I saw that.
Which is, honestly, guys, I'll be honest. I'm here to... It's a good point. We're here to fucking learn, to be honest, guys.
Netanyahu was like, oh, if I go bro out with MAGA podcast guys, people will like me and think that I'm affable and that all the murder is okay. And then he walks off and they're like, oh, he's Hitler. Yeah, good point, guys. Yeah, bros, that's a good point.
I love the wine swirl. It's like, oh, okay. But then they go, guys, dudes, we're just here to learn. It's
yeah.
And what other instance can you do besides fake political interview, media, podcasting space, bro, dude, as many other nouns I can put in there, but can you go I know we did the bad thing, but now we're going to learn after. Can you drop a bomb and be like, bro, I didn't know what it was going to, what was it going to do? like I lit that dynamite, but like, bro, like we're here to just.
I mean, that's literally what the state of Israel does. The state of Israel will just kill people and then say, oh yeah, that was stray munition. They love the term stray munition. Like those bullets that got shot at those people accidentally proceeded to go through their bodies and kill them. Those bombs that we dropped accidentally ended up killing people like what bombs do. And don't worry, we're going to investigate. It's like Elon Musk looking into it.
Concerning.
And so it's just like, yeah, this is such a MAGA thing to do something like this, platform someone like this who you know is so terrible, and then be like, I'm actually just ideologically curious and we
then
just want to learn. It's like, okay, learn before you have him on the fucking interview to do pre-written softball questions just to make him look good. You don't do that to learn. You do that to promote something. And speaking of promotion, I want to play a clip from friend of the show, Hasan Piker, having a conversation with the Nelk Boys that I truly don't know why they signed up for it. Let's take a look.
Hasan, anyone goes on a podcast to promote whatever they're doing.
But they're not. But Benjamin Netanyahu's not promoting a book, dog. He's promoting a genocide. That's the point.
OJ Simpson on.
That's the defense for.
We had OJ on.
We had OJ on. Man, imagine being Netanyahu after doing that interview and thinking, "Gee, MAGA podcast bros, they must side with me now. They're gonna like what we're doing to the Palestinians now. They're gonna think it's good." And then it's like he's Hitler and. No. But we did have OJ Simpson on. This was cut out before, but they also went on to say Andrew Tate. And it's like, okay, Netanyahu, OJ Simpson, Andrew Tate, Eric Adams, just a really good clique that's forming.
Just some criminals. They're really killing it. They've nailed down that demo. It's a good job by them. Good job, boys. Good job, bros.
Yeah, I can see Netanyahu pulling an OJ Simpson and seeing all of these Palestinians that got massacred and being like, man, I can't even go to Israel anymore because if I end up in the same room as the guy who did this. But anyway, I don't know why they went on Hasan's show because they were obviously going to look like idiots. I asked Hasan about it. He gave me an opinion that I'm not going to share because, that was a private conversation. But I think he's got the right idea. Not too surprised they wanted to go do Hasan about it. But then the Nelk Boys issued a statement that they were going to speak to the other side. This was because they're so ideologically curious, because they're so open-minded and they're just trying to learn. It's not just about Hasbara'ing with Netanyahu, Hasbara being the word for Israelis trying to justify whatever they do and, never having to have any consequences for it. The Nelk Boys said, okay, now that we're done with the Netanyahu softball interview organized by the Trump admin, we are going to speak with the other side. Let's see what the other side had to say to them.
I'm a live streamer. I do a talk show, okay? So I've never been convicted of a crime. I've never hurt anybody. I'm not a terrorist. I do a talk show. I do a live stream where I talk about politics. Netanyahu, on the other hand, is currently prosecuting a war and has been prosecuting a war for 20 years. And it's so funny that you have an interview with Netanyahu, and I don't know how that came about, but it's totally mainstream. It's totally acceptable. You have it on all the major platforms. But this is somebody who has killed people. This is somebody who's in the process of committing what is effectively an ethnic cleansing and a genocide. And it's just sort of interesting that, we're talking about platforming. Who are we going to bring on? Who are we allowed to talk to and have these conversations with? And people think it's basically a foregone conclusion. We'll have on a foreign head of state who is killing women and children, hosting these humanitarian aid sites, and killing the Palestinians that try to get their food and water. And there's like a moral equivalency that's created with someone like that and someone like myself.
Oh, I mean, we didn't hesitate to have you on for a second. The second the chat said Nick Fuentes, I DM'd you 15 seconds later. Obviously. No, and I'm not criticizing you or anything. I'm saying that's like the mainstream opinion. Of course. People are afraid to have me on the show. I'm considered canceled or whatever.
Lots to say about that. It's interesting that Nick Fuentes, for those of you who don't know, is a known bigot, racist, inflammatory Jew hater, which we'll get to. Nick Fuentes, while grilling the Nelk Boys on having this war criminal on their podcast, manages to make it all about him. He's like, you guys frame me as though I'm canceled and I'm a Jew hater, but I'm a live streamer. Doesn't deny that he's a Jew hater because he's a virulent Jew hater. But it's like, yes, he's giving them pushback on having Netanyahu on, but it's all wrapped in this bow of so why won't you platform me?
Yeah, a lot of attention whores clearly in the I don't know if I can use that phrase, but in the political podcasting sphere. Cam and I are the good guys, by the way. We just are here to bring information because we love and care.
I mean, I'm an attention whore, but I'm an attention whore like
for other
on
things.
a personal level. I'm an attention whore like when I go into the room, I can only hope that only positive attention. That's the thing. There's a lot of attention whores out there, including in the political space, who want all attention and will say the most inflammatory thing just to get attention. I actually, more than anything, I want affirmation. I want to be told that I'm enough and I'm being a good Cam. You're enough too, Jack. And it's important for us to have these conversations with other men. Men's mental health, everybody. Tell your boys that they're enough. But before we go, I also wanted to make sure that everybody knows who Nick Fuentes is, because I don't want to platform Nick Fuentes without making it pretty clear. Nick Fuentes is the type of Jew hater who has hijacked the Palestinian cause as an excuse to spread more Jew hatred. Now, this is made significantly worse by the state of Israel spending an unbelievable amount of money, time, and resources telling everybody in the world that the state of Israel and the Jewish people are inextricable from one another. That is why the Jewish star, which was put on us to identify us during the Holocaust, is on the Israeli flag. The state of Israel wants everyone to believe that the will of the state of Israel and the IDF is the will of the Jewish people. And there are many Jewish people who have come out to speak against that and say they do not represent our values. But Nick Fuentes is using the suffering of Palestinian men, women, and children, and the terror that they are facing every single day, starving, looking at famine, all these terrible things. He's using that to get people to hate Jews even more. And it's a really, really terrible thing. And you see a lot of these people who co-opt Palestine just to spread Jew hate. Let me show you guys one more video where you can find out what you need to know about somebody like Nick Fuentes.
There is an occult element at the high levels of society, and specifically among the Jews. So many of the people that are perpetrating the lies and the destruction on the country, they are evildoers. They are people that worship false gods. They are people that practice magic or rituals or whatever. And more than anything, those people need to be, when we take power, they need to be given the death penalty.
First of all, he looks like shit in that video.
Not a great stash.
The last Nick Fuentes video he looked kind of handsome.
Lemon lime Gatorade, not good either. It's
pretty tough, but this is somebody who's a kill the Jews type of person, not just like a, anti-Semitic dog whistle type person. But I think, Jack, you follow the online commentators a little bit more closely than I am. So is there any other information we need on Nick Fuentes before we say goodbye?
Well, there's no more information on Nick Fuentes. I would just like to also point out that during that interview with Netanyahu, he asked the Nelk Boys, who have had members of their team, their squad, taken off of YouTube, deplatformed. He was asking them about regulation and saying how bad it was that they were being regulated for their speech. And I would just like to point out the hypocrisy of that being said, with the Trump administration claiming more transparency and free speech advocacy than any other in history, while locking up college students for what they write, what they say, what they believe, while also at the same time making sure that they can protect their evil and wrongdoing above all else. I just think that hypocrisy can't go unpointed out.
Speaking of the hypocrisy, Netanyahu said to the Nelk Boys in the interview, I wish I had pulled a clip of it, Netanyahu was like, "Oh, you get demonetized? You can get censored? That's so crazy. I can't believe that can happen to you." It's like the state of Israel literally does that. The state of Israel literally censors the media like that. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Like, let's forget the fact that they directly target and murder journalists, because that's something that Netanyahu will obviously deny or say is actually a good thing because the journalist was a Hamas. But like, my buddy Tim Miller went up to me one day and he said, "You know what, Cam? The worst thing about Netanyahu is the hypocrisy." I'm just kidding. He didn't say that. That's a Norm Macdonald joke. Jack, thanks so much for joining today. And everybody, don't watch the Nelk Boys. We will watch the Nelk Boys for you. Don't watch the Nelk Boys.